So while I never in a million years thought that I would actually be able to get the Selects King Poseidon, because he sold out and I just didn't jump on the bandwagon then, I was lucky enough to get God Neptune, and wouldn't you know it, as fate would have it, I'm managing to secure slowly the members of King Poseidon. At least 5 of them, and we've looked at 2 already, being Nautilus or Lobclaw and Tentakill. Well, enter this guy, Kraken, or Seawing if you prefer, and he's going to be our focus this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for. And all my social media links, all of that is in the description down below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube. Become a channel member, baby. And this is Kraken or Seawing. I'll kind of discuss the name changes. Of course, the fiction is somewhat different in Japan than it is in North America. This is a heavy remold, of course, of Swoop. We have seen it when we looked at God Neptune here on the channel, and it was used as Terramander. So how good is this version of it? Well, we're about to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And our trek toward a version of King Poseidon continues. This is the 3rd member, the 3rd iteration of one of those team members that we're going to be looking at here. But before we get into him, we got to look at the packaging first. And of course, we got us some Selects packaging. And if we open up the Selects packaging, I think I got this end open, and we remove the inner case there. Of course, we can see that we have, throw that down, we have Kraken right there on the package, and we have the kind of outline, logo, that sort of stuff. And we slide that out because excessive packaging, I don't know. And of course we have a Decepticon Selects packaging box here. And when we open that up, naturally inside we would have all of the bits and pieces and all of that stuff. So we're going to get it out and take a look at it all. First up, we have a giant sheet of instructions. They're on glossy paper. I like them. I don't know if we really need them this time around. We have a nice metallic-y pink version of part of that trident. Sadly, I doubt I'm going to be able to make the trident because I have not been able to source an overbite, not for a sensible price anyway. And you really need that in order to make the combined trident. So I don't know. We'll see if it happens one day. If not, I'll survive. But I do like this paint. I think it's really slick. We got 2 of these little black blaster things. I put them kind of on his wings. One of these redone hand pieces with the articulated thumb and fingers, and you could take the back off, and there's a combiner port there so that you could put the 6th member in as like a target master type of thing. And what I will call his primary blaster that is molded in black plastic and has been painted, and it looks really nice. Here he is with everything on him, and this is definitely a case of just because you can do it doesn't necessarily mean you should do it. Now, if Kraken, or Seawing if you will, looks familiar, it's because we've already sort of touched on this guy when we looked at God Neptune in episode 820. I did not go through the transformations there because I said we would save it for here. So we've sort of already talked about him a little bit. Now, to be fair, you may notice that the 2 of these do look slightly different. Here's why. Look at the kind of back end of both of these. With Kraken or Seawing, and I'll kind of explain the 2 names in a moment, we have the legs looking like this with the silver kind of toe piece back here, or heel piece, and then the bigger toes forward, and the tail is sort of angled up. And you can see that the legs support him well. I did not find on Terramander that the legs supported him as well when we had it done in this transformation. So I turned the waist around so we have more painted detail on the top of this guy now with the extra gold and green and red. the tail now angles down instead of angling up, and you can see that the feet are a bit different now, with the kind of big toe section now being the heel section and the little heel section now being the toe section, and the legs do move a little differently. I do find that that is more secure for this guy. Why he doesn't seem to want to stand up like this guy does, I don't know, because both of them seem pretty equally solid. I like the mold. I liked it for Swoop, but I'm glad that we have a more substantial tail here, much like Cutthroat had, because the more substantial tail helps to solidify this guy when he is in limb mode. So what about the name? When we talk about the name, so Kraken is the name that was used in Japan, and the Krakens, like all of the Seacons, are not sentient. They're just there. There's tons and tons of them, and there's not much to say about the character because it is what it is. They're basically drones. However, in North America, Kraken was renamed as Seawing, and Seawing is a very quiet, mysterious, ominous, fear-inducing, ghost, specter-like character. His only real weakness apparently is that his optics are tuned to like the deep, dark depths of the ocean, so he finds like brightness and bright colors jarring and difficult on his eyes. So whether you go with the North American or whether you go with the Japanese, that's up to you. I will say this though, because we do have the Japanese guy who was part of Super God Master Force, we actually do have an animation model with which to compare this guy to. At least insofar as his C mode, because I don't know if we ever saw them in robot mode on the show. And this is fairly accurate with the black tail, and the wings probably shouldn't have the gray on them. They should probably have like the dark tealy color on them. There's a Decepticon logo back there, yeah, on his head. The bit of gray on his head probably shouldn't quite be there. This is close. I'm going to say it is about a 9. Like, you definitely know who it is. It's about a 9 based on the animation, but to be fair, there's an argument to be made that, hey, you can't really measure this by the animation. You kind of have to measure it by the original G1 plastic offering. And in that case, this is probably more like a 9, 9.5. It's really close to that. Let's split the difference between, say, an 8.5 and a 9.5, and let's say he's a 9. Let's do that. Let's say he's a 9, and that's what we'll settle on. There's, admittedly, that's not as objective as I would like because there's different ways of looking at it, but we're going to say it's a 9. What about the transformations? These are actually pretty quick for the most part. So, we're going to close up that leg and close up this leg and bring the tail up on the back, and we're going to take this arm down and in by the body, and this arm also down and in by the body, and we're going to flip that forward. His head is in here. Bring up the combiner peg. Bring these around. You would have to take these off, obviously. I guess I'll go ahead and do that. Bring those in on the arms on the side. Everything should lock in there. You put a foot on it, basically, boom. Here is your leg mode, I suppose. There's a slightly cleaner version. There are tabs on the forearms that go in on the side of the body, just like they did with Swoop. And on the kind of shoulders, there are these rectangular tabs that go into rectangular slots on the wings. And once you solidify it all in, it actually holds together pretty nicely. To do the blaster mode, you bring that down and you come around here, and basically what you're doing is using the peg hole where you would insert a foot, and you put his main blaster in there, and then each of like those little blasters that were on his wings, they go here on the side of the main blaster and here on the side of the main blaster again, and that's basically him as a like target master dude thing guy. Take that out. And really what we're doing is splitting the legs and extending that down and bringing it up to the side and bringing it down, and we'll put these legs back together and turn like this. Make sure we have that tail together to keep it solidified, and boom, that is the arm mode. And this is the mode that I think by rights he's supposed to be in. The Pteramander version is the, I think, right leg. This guy is, I think, the right arm, if I'm not mistaken. So I kind of like that because the layout is a little different for King Poseidon than it is for God Neptune. In terms of the hand, fits in there really solid and securely. Honestly, more solid and securely than the hands fit in on God Neptune. Yeah, that's really secure. I totally dig it. Finally, to go to his robot mode, we bring the waist around and split the legs again. We bring these out on the side. We bring this up and open little flaps out on the side. That allows us to kind of bring his head out and back. We bring the chest up and put those pieces in on the side again. Lift the arms off from the body again if they weren't already off. Angle up the wings a little bit if you want, and then inside here you get the hands out. That's among, for me, the most challenging part because I don't have nails really. So we bring that down, and then over here same thing. Bring that down, and boom, in the end, here we have Seawing / Kraken in his robot mode. And here we have him next to the aforementioned Pteramander. I like the mold, honestly. I think it's a hoot, but I think Swoop is the weakest use of the mold. I think that these guys and Cutthroat are infinitely better, and it's explicitly because they have a hefty tail that helps to solidify the legs together. That's just my experience with it. Also, here he is with his other teammates that I currently have. This is as much as I have so far. I looked at Lobclaw not too long ago in episode 842, and I looked at Tentakill back in episode 819. So we're still waiting on 2 more of the members that I currently have pre-ordered. Hopefully they'll get here sooner than later. So what about final scores for this guy? Well, we settled on a 9 for his paint apps. Naturally, that's a bit open to interpretation. The transformations are easy as they've ever been here. I like them. It only takes moments to get between modes, but there's still enough moving parts that it's interesting. All of his tabs and whatnot seem to lock in pretty securely, and he seems pretty secure in, you know, his fish monster mode, robot mode, blaster mode, leg mode, and arm mode. All of it works quite well, shockingly, because I'm not usually a huge fan of the tolerances on Takara offerings, but this guy pulls it off well. I'm going to say that the transformation's a solid 9. And what about the articulation? Well, we have the head that goes left, right. I can put his combiner port down. Left, right, little up and down wiggle, but not much. These move up and down. The arms, they can't go around all the way because of this, really, but you get all the range you'd want. We have soft ratchet at the elbow for 90 degrees. We have bicep swivel, no wrist on this mold, but he does have a waist, which I like. The hips can go out to the side, all the way back. Pretty tight on this one too, all the way forward. Tight thigh. The knee is 90 degrees and pretty great. No ankle, so he's missing ankle and he's missing wrist. It was just a sign of the times with this mold. Again, I'm going to say you can do most of what you want, and honestly, he stands pretty securely, and even if he didn't, I mean, you can always fake a bit of a pose, like put that back as a heel spur for a certain picture or something, or, you know, if you want to leave that up, like, take the tail piece and just bring it down for a moment as a heel spur. Nobody needs to see it, man. So pretty solid in that regard. I'm going to say it, too, is a solid 9. Honestly, maybe even a 9.25. Overall, I'm going to say that this mold used for this guy works really well and comes out to an overall score of about a 9. And here we are once again, and color me surprised. I'm usually kind of hard on Takara and their tolerances on a lot of things, but this guy's tolerance perfect. I would venture to say between Cutthroat and Pteramander and Swoop and this guy, I think this is the most solid, best use of the mold. Every joint feels great. Everything tabs in solid and nice. Quick but interesting conversions for the most part. A couple odd modes, but I mean, it is what it is. He pulls off all 5 as well as he's going to pull off all 5 as well as it is designed. I think that this is a tremendous use of it. I really dig it. And I don't even like the color teal. Who knew? Let me know what you think about Kraken or Seawing. I appreciate you guys coming by and giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you know what to do. Use that donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button. Become a channel member right here, man, on YouTube. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, have some fun with us. We have a lot going on. Don't forget that somehow, someway, each and every single day, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.